Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ModzvilleUSA back with another video. Today we got a Dreamcast VA2, and we're going to be doing a region-free BIOS mod. Now these are the most annoying to swap the BIOS on, and also the most challenging. It's not too difficult, but we got a lot of components to avoid here, so it's going to be a bit trickier to remove the original BIOS than the other ones. We got the number 2 in a circle, so if you have an American console, easily identify this with a number 2. Now as for Japanese consoles, I'm not sure about PAL. Japanese consoles don't have the 2 here, so you need to pop the 4 screws out. I'm not sure of any other way besides actually tearing it open. If you have other Dreamcasts on hand, you will notice a difference in the weight, but once you get in here, it's pretty easy to tell that this GD-ROM is very different, as you've got a ribbon cable coming out here, a whole bunch of cable connectors instead of it just plugging in. So very different GD-ROM. That's how you tell. So we're going to tear this down to the main board, and we're going to pull that BIOS chip. Before we do that, I'm going to have a quick word from our sponsor. A huge thank you to today's sponsor, PCBWay. Not only do they offer PCB manufacturing, but they now offer CNC and 3D printing services as well. I've gotten PCBs for many of my products and projects manufactured by PCBWay before. The website is super easy to use, and the quality and turnaround time is amazing. Very swag, very handsome. I like it. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, here we are. This is the BIOS chip right here. Now, you're going to notice once we're in here, it's a lot tighter. A lot of little components floating around here. We've got some electrolytic capacitors. There's actually, the VA2 has a ton more capacitors on the board. It's actually kind of crazy. I've never checked the GD-ROM, but I'm assuming most of those caps have moved from the GD-ROM to the main board due to its much smaller size there. So we're going to make this simpler on ourselves, and we're going to flux this up. We're just going to add a bit of fresh solder to the mix here. This will make it a bit make it come up a bit quicker. Nothing fancy. We're not using low melt or anything like that, just regular leaded solder here. A little bit of bridging, doesn't matter, it's all coming up, getting wicked down. Okay, now that we're good and prepped here, coming in with my hot air at 340. And if we're going to give this a scoot, I'm going to knock the camera a bit. I do apologize. I'm going to give this a scoot. Our best direction is up. Otherwise, it's a bit of a tough to get the leverage. Now, don't force anything. We want to wait till this is just like butter. Even motion here, nice circle. Get everything good and molten. And avoid blasting those capacitors directly. They can blow up if they're under too much heat. Okay, it's getting loose. It's not quite there yet. Okay, now she's loose. It's just a matter of getting her up. Getting the grip is the hardest part there. And there she goes. Okay. That's a good, nice, clean pull. And we want to look at these various surface mount components here. Resistor right here. All these are populated here. Just make sure nothing got knocked. Now the most likely thing, as long as you're keeping the heat directed and centered, you don't scoot it too crazily. The most likely scenarios or things that can go wrong is knocking this R513, R532, and if you're real lucky, heated it up way too much, knocking this package off here, that would be bad. But yeah, very nice, very clean pull. So I'm gonna come in here with our Goot wick. We are going to make the pads nice and clean. Now if you're real crazy, in a pinch or whatever, you'd probably get away with not wicking the pads. But we're in here, we want to make it nice. Okay. Okay, good and wicked. I'm going to dump a bit of IPA on there. A little brief wipe off. I'll do a better one in a moment, but first, come in here, re-tin these pads. Okay. Now, one more good little go here. A little bit of IPA. And I've got these nice cloths here. Nice strats. We'll soak it all up into the cloth using this soft bristle brush. This works much nicer than the Q-tip when you're doing a decent sized surface like this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Very nice. Okay, here we are on the Monkey website here for the diagrams, and for the V2, you'll see here that we have 2 points. We've got this little via here, and then we just patch up these 2 legs here. Let's go into this resistor. You need to do the resistor or the leg for this one. But we're going to go ahead and prep this ahead of time. So otherwise it's just a little annoying unless you use a really fine tip getting in there and soldering to that via. So we're going to do this first and then put the chip in. Make sure we don't have any solder mask in the way. Little tiny dab. Flux. We'll go ahead and flux these back up, as we are going to be putting a chip on them. Some 30 AWG. I'm going to try to thread the needle. Got a very springy wire here, so come in here. Hopefully I have enough solder on my tip to at least tack it into place. Okay, seems okay. No, I'd like to get that a little bit better, obviously. Okay. And that's a beautiful, beautiful joint. Alright, and here we've got one of the 3-volt 2D boot animation ones. I have these on my Shopify down below. If you need one, you can grab them from my site. Typically have these in stock. So we're just going to pop it out of here. So now, what we do, pin 1 right here, we match that up with this dot, pop it into place. Now we line it up. Just think of it like putting a heat sink on. I'm gonna do one angle, one leg here. Okay. I'm going to do another leg here. Okay, I switched to a different chisel tip, one that's a bit of a thicker surface. So what I like to do is come on in, just gonna do like a press and a swipe, like press the pin down into the pad, just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Okay. So I'm using one of my thicker Kynar wires here. This stuff is a little firm, a little unwieldy. It looks real nice though. Right about there. It's pretty good. Now getting in there with the flush cuts, or with the wire strippers, it's going to be a bit more of a pain in the ass than I want to deal with. We're just going to melt a bit of insulation, just like that. Okay, I want to add just a little bit more flux just to clean this up. Very nice. Now, come in here. Just like that. Nice and tight. Okay, we're just doing a little bit of tucking, call the old tuck and roll, and that's a nice taunt wire. One little facelift here, another IPA dump, and we're going to scrub her down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is a Sega Dreamcast version 2 BIOS mod. One of the only modifications you can do to this console. And one thing I have noticed here, previous, it could be a fluke, I haven't worked on many of these, but I had one of these VA2s that did not play backup discs. I did the BIOS mod, and then it booted up backup discs. So I believe that the restrictions are in the BIOS, the original BIOS. So if you have a VA2 and it doesn't boot backups, give this a shot and let me know in the comments if this did the trick, if it's booting backups now or not. I believe it does. Haven't seen much discussion of this online, but it would be nice if you guys could chime in with your results if you've got a VA2 that does not play backups. These are very uncommon, definitely not desired, because it's not compatible with pretty much any of the mods out there, like GDEMU, m.o.d.e, etc. But you can do this, and if you've got one around, you just want to play your original discs, or play discs of any region, or play backup discs. It's a perfectly good console to have. And yeah, we busted this out, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you liked it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.